Roll call, Alderman.
Alderman Heisler.
Here.
Alderman Kinsella.
Here.
Alderman Meyer.
Here.
Alderman Schmidt.
Here.
Alderman Ridgewitz.
Here.
Alderman Randall.
Here.
Alderman Anthony.
Here.
Alderman Davidson.
Here.
Alderman Silsby.
Here.
Alderman Hayden.
Here.
Alderman Seibert.
Here.
Alderman White.
Here.
Alderman Galletti.
Here.
Alderman Musgrove.
Here.
Alderman Orlett.
Here.
Alderman Schneider.
Roll call, department heads.
Police Chief Clay. Fire Chief Poor. City Attorney Horner. Ken Vaughn. Royce Carlisle. Jamie Matrit. Tim Gregwitz. Jim Schneider. Leander Spearman. Emily Foltz. Chuck Schaefer. Bob Sabo. Debbie Belleville. City Treasurer Hart.
Here.
Okay, Jim Schneider, Chuck Schaefer. We can take Emily off. She's not.
That's
in
what I
office
just did,
anymore.
believe it or not.
Chief Clay's still on vacation today yet, and who was the first?
Brian's here, of course, for
Well,
Garrett.
Brian's here for Garrett. He's absent. I think I gave reason for everybody.
Yeah, we're good.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I would ask that we would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to remind everyone this evening that the council meetings are videotaped. Alderman, we were having a trouble with the audio, so Rich put some extensions on your microphones. Please use them. But also be careful, as we had a hearing here a few minutes ago, and he said a lot of people were getting the papers up rattling, so it wasn't really helping anything. So we just gotta be a little bit more conscious of the fact that we're trying to be good stewards of those who are trying to watch this when it appears on the cable channel. I will also remind everybody that there's no public hearing this evening, but when we get to public participation in just a moment, to please be respectful and to wait till I call on you, then go to the microphone, give your name and address, and then also please keep your comments to 2 to 3 minutes and try to keep them on an agenda item if possible. So at this time, I will open public participation. If anyone has a comment this evening, now's the time. Yes, sir.
Stuart Lannert, 318 South 29th Street, Belleville, Illinois. Due to the fact that it seems like most of these meetings, there's very few, more than 2 or 3 people at the most, and I have no idea what members of the public address city in accordance with Section 206G, Illinois Open Meeting Act, and all this other BS. So, and it seems like the good government party is just bound and determined to control every word spoken. Now, in order to speak here, you got to go, I guess, come up and get a meeting. I guess this is an agenda ahead of time, so you know what you're going to talk about. And most of the city business is cut and dried before the meeting ever starts. So there's no point in wasting your time talking about it because everybody's made up their mind before the meeting ever starts. I got a few things I'd like to say that probably relate to either St. Clair County or a personal.
Well, I think, Stuart, we've tried to explain before. If your comments are heavily St. Clair County, you need to go to a county board meeting, and that's what we're saying. Anything pertaining to tonight's agenda, or if you have something that you believe is a concern for the city, for the betterment of the city, we'll be glad to listen.
Okay, I got something.
But this body here cannot deal with the Mid-America Airport or other things that you so frequently go into.
Okay, I'll go to a different topic. I've been a Marine Corps veteran, rifleman in Vietnam in 1968. I was in one of the biggest battles over there. one of George Bush Younger's classmates at Andover College was also in the same rifle company as me. And after he got out of the Marines, he went to Harvard College and graduated, one of the few Marines that graduated from Harvard. And then he wrote a book about this battle he was in. So I was in one of the biggest battles in Vietnam, and now these criminals and weasels in St. Clair County are saying that I can't get a concealed carry permit because I'm a danger to the community, a danger to myself, and a danger to others.
Stuart, I think we've been through this before. You need to take up your objection, I believe, with the Illinois State Police. And they're the ones that review the applications for the concealed carry. Nothing to do with the city of Belleville.
I just got a letter from that criminal Lisa Madigan. She's got her nose sticking in this business, so I got to deal with a criminal politician like Lisa Madigan to get my permit. They want a 28-day
Is there anything pertaining to the city tonight?
No, thank you. Have a
Okay.
good night.
You have a good night, too. Is there anyone else this evening? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Monica Sobchak. I've lived at 11 North 50th Street. I've been in Belleville 52 years. And tonight I had the chance to see how the electoral board operated. And I have to say, we knew exactly what the outcome would be because of awaited decision makers. But we did establish, Mr. McHugh did establish his residency tonight. He established that he was a resident of his address on September 4th, 2014. He obtained his driver's license and registered to vote on September 4th, 2014. And that is not a year prior residence before the election. So he did establish his residency, but he was not a legal resident and is not a legal candidate, but he is going to stay on the ballot because the electoral board voted that way. So when I look at integrity, doing what is right, even if it's difficult, didn't happen this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you. I will just say, Ms. Subcheck, that the hearing was quite lengthy, and that was a very brief synopsis of a lot of testimony, and I think that was a little bit unfair, so I'll go on. Anyone else this evening would like to, yes, sir?
Mark, I'm not going to cry over spilt milk. My name's Rafi Ovi, and I also objected. And I could bring out some things that would be highly detrimental to some of you people that are aldermen, and I won't get into that. But do me a favor, the next time you go ahead and review someone for legitimacy of where they live, if you have a personal interest in the situation, any of the board people, you should recuse yourselves. Secondly, the only true way to establish whether or not a person lives in a residence is not by looking at someone's medical history, but by their income tax documentation, such as 2013 and their W-2 for 2014. I like this to be established in meetings going forward when you want to prove residency. Income tax records, W-2s, that's the only way to do it. Thank you.
And Rafi, you may have some good points, but that needs to go to the state statute. We follow the state statute, and I will tell you, we certainly did, Mr. Seibert stepped off that committee tonight because he was a candidate, and the state statute clearly says that that is the only reason a person should exclude themselves from this board. Is that correct, Mr. Flynn? So it's very clear if you read the statute, and believe me, we followed the statute, and we made sure we interpreted it, and we did it as the letter of the law. And so we did do that, okay? Anyone else this evening? Yes, sir.
Michael Hagberg, 701 Centerville Avenue. I too was at the 3 meetings this afternoon, and what I would say at this point is yes, the law was followed. I would like to get support from this community to get a petition to the state to make it so that, as many other states do, The election board uses the date that you registered to vote to establish your residency as to whether or not you are a legal candidate or not. And I will be passing around petitions and try to get that done at the state level. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am?
Rose Wilson, 322 West I Street, Belleville, Illinois. I wasn't going to speak tonight, but I happen to know Mr. McHugh and the McHugh family, and I can honestly say without reservation, in the last 3 years, at least 2.5 of the years, Alex McHugh lived on West Main Street with his mother. Thank you.
Okay. If there's no other comments right now on public participation, we will adjourn. I will close public participation. This time, and I will go back, and I take it very seriously, on page 2 of the agenda, item 7, I will recognize the character word of the month is integrity. And I, like I believe all of you, should and do take that word very seriously. It's doing what's right even when it's difficult. And I think we've got to make sure we continue to follow the character words, and I couldn't agree with you more, and I take it very seriously. This time we move on to the approval of the minutes. We have the council meeting minutes from December 15th, 2014. What's your pleasure? Mr.
Yes, Your
Heisler?
Honor, I'd like to make a motion to approve and receive and file the council meeting minutes from December 15th, 2014. So moved, Your Honor.
Motion by Alderman Heisler to accept and file, second by Alderman Schmidt. Do I have discussions? All in favor of accepting and filing those minutes from December 15th signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. What did you?
I'm sorry, I did have one change. I did abstain. I don't.
It's written.
I thought I did see it. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Good question, though. I now ask for a motion to approve and accept the executive session minutes from December 15th, but they are not for release. In talking to, I guess, Mr. Harner, talking to the AG's office, it was a good point brought up not too long ago in conversation with a few of us on staff. Dallas and some of us had a comment that sometimes these minutes go on long periods of time and you kind of forget when they're carried over for many, many, many months. But these minutes cannot still be released or discussed. They're still confidential, but at this time, I'm asking for a motion to approve the December 15th executive session minutes, understanding they are not for release. Alderman Schmidt?
So moved, Your Honor.
Motion by Alderman Schmidt, second by Alderman Meyer. Any discussion on those minutes? All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Zoning Board of Appeals advisory reports.
Point of order claims.
I'm sorry. Skipped right over it. It's bifocals. Ask for a motion to pay the claims, payroll, and disbursements. Alderman Schmidt,
So moved.
and second by Alderman Kinsella. Discussion on the claims or payroll? Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz. Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert. White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Musgrove. Orlett. Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries. Zoning Board of Appeals.
I move we read by title only and as a group, Your Honor.
Does anybody have any objection to that? Mr. Clerk, you want to read them?
Sounds great. No vote? Okay. 10A1, case
If we're going to
7.
read them by title, you just want to read by,
Title
just a-
only and as a group, right?
yeah.
Okay,
All
10A.
in favor of reading by title only as a group signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, 10A1, case 70, December 14, Lisa Holman, requesting a use variance in order to operate a daycare center at 7705 West Main Street, located in the C1 Light Commercial Zoning District. Case 10-A271, December 14th, JHK Incorporated, doing business as Angle Kernan Rental and Sales, requesting a special use permit in order to rent or sell construction party equipment and supplies at 3827 North Belt West, located in a C2 Heavy Commercial Zoning District. 10-A3, case 72, December 14th, Gary and Kim McGee, requesting a special use permit in order to use the property for personal use of storing antique cars at 1810 West Main Street, located in a C2 Heavy Commercial Zoning District. 10-A4, case 73, December 14, Ben Schaefer, requesting an area bulk variance in order to build an 8-foot wooden privacy fence with gates on the east and west sides of the property at 4300 West Main Street, located in a C2 heavy commercial zoning district. 10-A5, case 74, December 14. Jennifer Miles, requesting a use variance in order to erect a building on the backside of the property in order to put a health department approved kitchen for the operation of a custom order delivery based business at 1804 West F Street, located in A1 single family zoning district.
Do I hear a motion?
I move we approve all of these as recommended by the zoning board.
And have the proper ordinances drawn.
And have the proper ordinances drawn.
Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Meyer. Discussion. All in favor of,
One
yes.
item, Mayor, on the zoning board of appeals meeting minutes, unapproved. I'm kind of confused. This says January 22, 2015. Is that,
I think that should be December 22, shouldn't it? When is that when you met?
Well, that's unapproved.
Huh? It's not approved, but I think it was December meeting, right?
Yes.
Wouldn't that have been right, Eric? It was a typo.
December 18th.
December 18th. It was a typo. She
December
probably
18th.
maybe looked at, previous or something, but it was a typo. Thank you for catching that.
all right.
Please note that, but we have a motion and a second to approve those cases and have the proper ordinances drawn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Standing reports from committees. Board of Police and Fire Commission, first motion would be to hire the following probationary firemen as recommended by the Board of Police and Fire Commissioners. Matthew Preston. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Alderman Anthony, second by Alderman Schmidt. Any discussion on this gentleman? Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella. Meyer.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz. Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson. Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert. White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Orlett. Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to hire the following probationary police officers as recommended by the Board of Police and Fire Commissioners, Paul Anderson and William Lovell. Motion by Alderman Schmidt, second by Alderman Rudowitz. Any discussion? Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella. Meyer.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz. Randall. Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson. Silsby. Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert. White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Orlett. Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries. Communications.
12A, communication from St. Elizabeth's Hospital requesting permission to decorate light posts and bump out railings on East/West Main Street and Illinois Street for 3 blocks out from the fountain to support Heart Health Awareness Month. The ribbons will be put up on January 30th and removed February 27, 2015.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Alderman Hayden, second by Alderman Seibert. Any discussion on the communication request? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We have no petitions and we have no resolutions this evening. I'd ask for a motion to read by title only ordinances 7834, 7835, 7836, 7837, 7838, and 7839. Motion by Alderman Silsby, second by Alderman Hayden. All in favor of reading those ordinances as just stated by title only signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any problem with them as a group? No one? Let's go ahead and read them as a group.
Ordinance number 7834, case 70, December 14, Lisa Holman. Ordinance number 7835, case 71, December 14, JHK Incorporated doing business as Ango Kernan Rental and Sales. Ordinance number 7836, case 72, December 14, Gary and Kim McGee. Ordinance number 7837, case 73, December 14, Ben Schaefer. Ordinance number 7838, case 74, December 14, Jennifer Miles. Ordinance number 7839, ordinance amending Chapter 52 of Traffic Code, 4-way stop North Church and Arthur, and 1-hour parking in front of 2117 and 2119 West Main Street.
Motion to approve ordinance 7434 through 7839.
Motion by Alderman Silsby, second by Alderman Hayden to approve those ordinances as just read. Any discussion? Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz. Randall.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Silsby.
Aye.
Hayden.
Aye.
Seibert.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Galletti.
Aye.
Musgrove.
Aye.
Orlett. Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries. Any unfinished business? Move on to miscellaneous and new business. We have a motor fuel claims in the amount of $41,445.41.
Move the claims be paid, Your Honor.
Motion by Alderman Seibert, second by Alderman Hayden. Any discussion on the motor fuel claims? Roll call.
Heisler.
Aye.
Kinsella. Meyer. Schmidt.
Aye.
Ridgewitz. Randall. Anthony. Davidson. Silsby. Hayden. Seibert. White. Galletti. Musgrove. Orlett. Schneider.
Aye.
Motion carries. Mr. Harner couldn't be here this evening. He was under the weather, and I don't have anything particular. He was working on several things for executive session, so I don't have an executive session item. Motion to adjourn, second by Alderman Schmidt. Motion was by Alderman Hayden. All in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
20 minutes.